All right, I want to explain this video by, saying that I like Helldivers. I think the game is pretty, all right, but I just haven't played for a while, and I was kind of wondering why. There's a few things that have kind of set me off in the past when it comes to playing. I've made some videos of, ranting and certain things like that. To be honest with you, my opinion changes so often that, like, I don't hate Helldivers, but there's a couple problems when it comes to, like, the player base. There is a large, or not, I wouldn't even say large, but there's a good amount of players that just have only played Helldivers. That's the only game that they play. They're really good at it, so they're like, I'm better than you, I know better than you, I know more than you, so, like, it's just skill issue or something like that. It's like, okay, whatever, I can't argue with you. There's a lot of, like, glitches and bugs that have been in Helldivers too that, like, are pretty amplified, I would say. And if not amplified, they just started existing. When the game first came out, Helldivers was in the best state ever. Not regarding the railgun or breaker nerf. None of that, okay? Just in general, just the game itself, it was in a very good state. I heavily enjoyed it. I was like, this is really fun. I was like, it's fun to die and get spawned in and, do whatever it was that I was doing in the missions. I think if, that version of the game was solid, then they started updating the game. They updated and changed a lot of things. Okay, makes sense. You gotta patch stuff. You gotta, do bug fixes, hot fixes. But every time that they have updated the game, they've kind of just made it worse. They have made the game feel a whole lot worse, and it's not that fun to play. It's not that enjoyable to me. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like that they're adding new things to fight and certain things like that, but in my opinion, when new things are added in a game, like new items or certain things are added, you kind of can already deal with them. There's just a new way to deal with them. I kind of just stopped playing because of crashing, and that's still, I would say, a consistent issue. Even after them updating the game, it's still a problem. And now, don't get me wrong, you can be working towards it, like they're definitely working at it, and I get it. That happens. Like, that's all the effort that they're putting in. But they're kind of, I'd say they're working towards patching, and then they add in something new. And it's like, oh, all of that effort you just put is now put to waste. It's like 5 steps forward, 10 steps back in a way. There's a lot of things that are kind of in the game that just don't really help. And, I'm not even talking about solo play. Like, playing by yourself for this game, they could add things to make it more fun. And by more fun, I mean, like, have an NPC thing with you, like, where you can tell them, go here, shoot here, attack with me, defend, or something like that. But they just won't do it. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, just play with randoms. I've explained this in several videos before. Playing with randoms doesn't really fix any solution or, like, fix any problems, because I've played on the hardest difficulty several times. You can go into the hardest difficulty. It's gonna be difficult. Yeah, we're not missing that argument or whatever. Like, that's not going over anyone's head. It's okay for it to be difficult. What makes it worse is playing with people who just don't understand the game. And a lot of people are like, okay, so you're shaming these bad players because, like the people who are even better than you are shaming you. Now you're shaming the people who are worse than you. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. The entire point and premise of this game is, in, like, story, lore, and all these things, is like, you're trained for 5 minutes. You're just a random soldier. Your life is meaningless, but they don't tell you that. The story behind Helldivers is interesting. I really like it. But the fact that it's like people use that as an excuse for you to just die all the time or certain things like that, it's like, okay, whatever. But for the new people, why are, like, these new people shouldn't just be playing on the hardest difficulty because they can. The whole, like, back to somewhat of what I was saying, you're supposed to run away. That's like the entire thing, is running away. And that's fine. I can get behind that. There's a few issues there for running away from things. Playing against bugs, playing against bots, you just get clipped. If it's a bug, they've fucked with the spawn so much on bugs and robots where, like, for bugs, you have like 5 of the, I don't know the names of any of the like enemies or anything like that. The bugs that jump onto you and they poison you and they make you slow. You get 5 of them jumping at you, and while you're trying to run away, and it's like all your stratagems have already been used. You have to reload your gun doesn't kill them fast enough. It's like there's so many things. Okay, I guess I can understand, like, all right, these handful of things are good against bugs. These handful of things are good against bots. Kind of wish everything was good against everything. That would make it a little bit just, you know, in general better. And the thing is too, is it's like a lot of the people who are like, okay, you're having a harder time on the hardest difficulty. Why don't you bump it down a few notches? I want to preface this. You can play on like level 5. All right, I get rare samples. Cool. How am I supposed to get the special, like, I don't even know the name, the purple ones, the special fancy samples? How are you supposed to get those? You can't, you just don't get them because you can't play on like 7 because people are not that good at 7, not level 7, the difficulty 7, that they're not that. You get what I'm saying, okay? If you don't, then I'm sorry. The ship modules really don't change much. So like leveling up your stuff doesn't really, in my opinion, doesn't affect much. It kind of depends on your armor, but the armor and the buffs and, you know, certain like modifiers it has, like attributes added to the like item, you should be able to have like 2. Just make it more enjoyable, like have those extra additions just so that it's something else. The game doesn't really have any customization or anything like that. You can't just change your character like colors or anything like that. The game after a bit feels like a chore, which I think is part of the problem. And a lot of people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, he's a Call of Duty guy or something like that. Or like, I don't know if it's just me. There's plenty of people out there. You have this sort of issue where it's like you don't want to play a game for 3 weeks straight unless there's consistently new things and fun things being added. A lot of the stuff that I feel like has been added, a lot of things that have been introduced, it's kind of like, okay, example, the exosuit. The call-in time, like the waiting to get it, is like takes forever. And by the time you get it, if you're trying to use it to kill a horde of things, when you call it in with all the modifiers and certain things that, you know, happen for whatever, like if you're on harder difficulties, sorry, I hit my mic, the game doesn't, I wouldn't say you don't benefit, but it's like you're just gonna die. Like shit just swarms you. You can't do anything about it. And, you know, railgun aside, breaker aside, those 2 things I would say didn't really change much. Those nerfs themselves didn't do anything. It's all the stuff that was within that patch when they had nerfed things. And my personal thing, a lot of people may not agree. If you're a Helldivers player, you definitely don't agree. If you're just a normal person in a way, you kind of understand, you know, all right, give and take. When they nerfed the breaker and the railgun, it was like, okay, you nerf these 2 guns. Why not just buff everything else? There's a reason why people were using it. And I don't know. I think I'm crazy when I talk about it. I haven't talked about Helldivers in a while. I haven't played in a while. You know, it's me kind of just wanting to talk about it because I was just curious. I was like, okay, like I don't interact with the game. I don't care to post videos on it. Why don't I post it? Oh, my friends aren't playing. Well, why are my friends playing? Can I talk about it? Oh, it's the same thing pretty much all the time. Not that fun after a bit. Oh, okay. It's like, not every game is for everyone. All right, that's fine. But it's like, there is something in there that I can't figure out that I hope maybe you guys could decipher. Of like, when the game first came out, it was really fun, and it wasn't just because it was new. It was really fun to play. It was really fun to do the missions. It was really fun to kill stuff and like kill waves of things. They have just slowly been making it's like, is it giga buffing? Or it's like buff after buff, like patch after patch. Like the enemies have been getting buffs. We've been getting nerfed. That's not that fun to me. And I don't know. I know that I'm probably weird for saying it. Usually when I've made opinionated videos on Helldivers, a lot of people have like disliked the video because for some reason, you know, that me talking about like, hey, there's sort of like these couple problems. There's kind of these things that I don't really like, but you know, it's whatever. I fucking hit it again. I'm sorry. But yeah, Helldivers it's an alright game, but I've kind of noticed that there's a lot of people who have not really been enjoying it. And I think the main thing that adds into it, you know, with the crashing is like, spend 40 minutes on a mission, it crashes, you're like, all my effort just went to waste. It's that feeling pretty frequently when you're like playing with other people, playing by yourself, doesn't matter, and you just keep dying and it's out of your control. Or it's like you die, you get shot by something really far away, whatever. Skill issue. It's a skill issue.